Hello everyone, welcome back to another Call of Dragons video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the best mage pairings in the current meta. We'll also cover the best talent trees, artifacts, war pets, and the best alternatives for free-to-play and low spender players. The goal is simple, to show you the best possible lineups, whether you're a heavy spender or playing with a much more limited investment. Before we get started, I'd like to quickly give you an update on my account. I'm currently in Season of Strife 1, and I've already accumulated over 31 million merits in just a few days of fighting. I'll show you a few battle reports on the screen. The first ones are from the beginning of the season when we were mostly fighting T4 players in Zone 1. Then, after migration, we mainly fought T5 migrants. Despite still playing T4 with terrible technology, I managed to get excellent results against T5 players. For example, I finished first in the battle rankings, even though several players behind me had accounts that were far stronger than mine. For example, this player has 190 million power, and these two players each have around 110 million power. Overall, I was averaging around 1.2 million merits per hour, and even more during the most intense fights. The purpose of this video is to show you that it's absolutely possible, as a free-to-play or low spender player, to compete with players who spend much more on the game. Now, let's move on to the 5 best mage pairings. There are currently 3 compositions that clearly dominate the meta. The first one, and in my opinion the strongest, is Vardoon paired with Kantaman. Ideally, both heroes should be fully maxed. Vardoon is already very strong at 5155, but his expertise provides a huge boost. The same goes for Kantaman, whose expertise is simply amazing, although he's already very viable at 5155. In second place, I recommend Bertrand paired with Selûne. Bertrand should definitely be maxed. As for Selûne, she already performs extremely well at 5151. Of course, her expertise is even better, but this version is already highly competitive. In third place, we have Yunming paired with Gramara. Ideally, both heroes should be maxed. However, Yunming already performs very well at 5155, although I still recommend maxing him to benefit from the defense bonus on his second skill, as well as his expertise, which is very valuable. If you don't want to invest in Gramara, you can easily replace her with Thalea. Thalea has excellent synergy with Yunming, and at 5551, she's actually stronger than a Gramara that isn't fully maxed yet. To give you an idea, a 5551 Thalea performs better than a 5455 Gramara when paired with Yunming. In fourth place, I still highly recommend Lilia paired with Thea. I see a lot of players removing Lilia from their lineup, but I still believe this duo is incredibly solid. It offers an excellent balance between damage and survivability thanks to Thea's shields. Even though this pairing is slightly below the top 3, it's still one of the safest and most reliable choices. Finally, in fifth place, I recommend Thunderlane paired with Mu Xiang. This march is much more support oriented. I recommend using the Vestals with this march to benefit from their HP buffs. Mu Xiang also provides a significant amount of healing, making this an excellent support march to complete your lineup. As for hero investment, every hero I've mentioned should ideally be fully maxed. The main exceptions are Selûne, who works very well at 5151, Thalea, who is already maxed at 5551, and Thunderlane and Mu Xiang, who remain very strong at 5551. Now let's move on to the talent trees, artifacts, and war pets. For Vardoon and Kantaman, I recommend using Doom Bracers together with the Sand Lizard. The talent tree shown on screen is the one I personally use. For Yunming and Gramara, or the Thalea variant, the talent tree shown on screen is the one I personally use. It's exactly the same whether you're using Gramara or Thalea as the secondary hero. I recommend Dragon Fate as the artifact, along with the Sand Lizard. For Bertrand and Selûne, I prefer using Bertrand as the primary hero because it's easier to optimize march speed. The goal is to reach between 21% and 22% march speed on every single march. I use Mirage Orb as the artifact. The talent tree shown on screen is the one I personally use. For the war pet, I use the Seraphic Drake, which basically replaces the Sand Lizard for flying marches. If your Selûne is only 5151, you can put Selûne as the primary hero and use this talent tree instead. You can also replace Bertrand with Bayhorn. It's an excellent alternative, especially if you want to keep Bertrand paired with Tohar. For Lilia and Thea, I really like using Visage of the Sanctus. This artifact has amazing synergy with Thea's shields, greatly increasing the survivability of the march. I've already achieved several battle reports worth over 500,000 merits using this combination. The talent tree shown on screen is the one I personally use. Once again, I recommend using the Sand Lizard. If your Sand Lizard has extra skill slots beyond the 4 mandatory skills, I recommend adding Heart Wall to gain even more shields and improve the synergy with the artifact. Finally, for Thunderlin and Mu Xiang, I use Infernal Flame. The talent tree shown on screen is the one I personally use, along with the Sand Lizard, as always. You can also make Mu Xiang your primary hero with a more healing-focused talent tree if your team needs more survivability. Here's the talent tree I recommend, although I'm not a huge fan of it because it's difficult to reach 21% march speed, and you have to sacrifice quite a few other stats. For those of you who want to copy my current setup, I'm currently using 3 Sand Lizards and 1 Seraphic Drake, along with these 4 pairings. All of my marches have between 21% and 22% march speed, which is an extremely important point in open field. Before ending this video, I'd like to give you one last piece of advice that makes a huge difference. I strongly recommend turning off autocast for all of your offensive artifacts. Only keep your defensive artifacts on autocast. Why? Because in autocast mode, your offensive artifacts will very often be wasted on bad targets, usually infantry. Instead, wait for the right opportunity. Even if it takes 2 or 3 minutes. As soon as you see an exposed cavalry or archer march, manually activate your artifact. Those are the units where you'll deal the highest artifact damage, you'll become much more efficient, and you'll often be able to eliminate enemy marches much faster. Personally, I regularly deal over 40,000 artifact damage simply by timing my activations correctly. That's it for today's video. I hope it helped you. In my next videos, I'll probably show you some live open field gameplay, including positioning, target selection, and all the little tricks that really make a difference. In the meantime, with this video and my Sand Lizard guide, you already have everything you need to build excellent mage lineups. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you again very soon. And don't forget, mages are life.